Okay, I'm back from Sydney. It's been 16 days since I parked that up there, and this here, there's not one drop of anything on this car. There's not one drop anywhere. That's exactly what I wanted. So that's something that I'm happy about. I'm happy about a lot of things, but yeah. You can see this stain here, that's from my a little tow car. It's got a slight coolant leak, and over months and months it'll drip. But that's not from this car. What I'm going to do today is back that out and put the ute over there beside that Honda. I'll move this bike and I'll bring the little tow car and park it under here. The roof, I'm getting the roof down, and then I'll make a space and make a plan how I'm going to fix that. Okay, I've got the roof down. Some of these bits and pieces are pretty ordinary. That will need re-chroming. Probably that. That's part of the latch system, all this. That back bit there, a little bit damaged there. Don't think that comes off. That's fiberglass to it, so whatever. I'll push that window out in a sec. I'm going to take all this chrome and stuff off. I don't know where we're going to get new rubbers, so possibly have to reuse that front one until we can get something suitable. I noticed this thing here is glued on tight, so getting that off is going to be pretty tricky. And I'm going to have to find something similar. It's a bit loose there. A bit loose there, which is something. I'll probably get a... Oh, that's coming off. It's been glued on in a few spots. I want to make sure I don't tear it. So right now, and then what I'm going to do, once I've got it all stripped, I'll flip it over and I'll sand all this down. Good thing about it, this is fiberglass, so you can sand it as much as you like. It's not going to rust. And you know, I don't have to worry about getting it primed, so I can sand it and leave it for whatever, and just I'll flick some putty over it when it's all sanded. I think the first thing I'm going to do is take these pieces of chrome off, or stainless, whatever they are. I think it's, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I noticed this bit over here needs to be re-chromed. Yeah, it looks like it's been chromed. Anyway, enough talk. We're going to start stripping this down. And the tricky bit for this on doing this part, like this is the last main part of this car that needs restoring, is getting all this stuff off without busting it. What I've just discovered, that there sits in here, and there's screws under here. So I'll undo them, and that should come off. But it is glued on a bit as well. I was having trouble getting it off, but I've discovered it's got some screws. This screw up here is knackered, so I'll have to sort that out. Well, I'll just start undoing this stuff and get it off. That bit off. It makes a bit of difference if you undo the screws. And these screws also help hold this on, so I've only got that one to go. And that'll come off. So this part here, that was in there. I don't know if that's supposed to be there, but I'll put it back in there for now. I'm sure someone will tell me. But I won't mix them up. I'll mark that. So that's at the left-hand side. I'll just make sure that, you know, I don't mix them up. It doesn't really matter. It only goes on one way anyway. Anyway, I'll probably take this bit here next, and then get that off, and then do the other side. And I want to get this thing here off, because I don't know if we're going to be able to replace that. So we've got to get that off without busting it. You can see the original material there. Sort of like a cloth sort of thing. We'll decide what we're going to put in here. We may just put leather. We'll see. That piece comes off in one bit, thankfully, because there's a nut. There's this last bit here. It's got a captive nut on it. This little panel here, that bit. And obviously it's stuff. Someone's been trying to undo it before. So I'll have to get that off. I'll probably do that now and it's done. There's also a screw here that helps hold something on. I ended up getting that apart, but it wasn't easy. Like I said, that's a captive nut. I ended up having to grind the head off that little screw and drilling it out. So I'll have to tap that. But this thing needs a lot of work. There's a crack there. There's a crack through here, along down there. It's, you know, it's not a real nice piece, that. We'll need re-chroming, but you know, it's an old car. We'll be able to save them, but it's just a bit annoying. That thing's needs more fixing up, that. A little bit bent down the end there. It was pretty much glued on. Anyway, to take off the other side, I might see if I can get this screw here undone next, but I don't know what that's supposed to hold in. It looks like it's holding in this rubber here, or it's holding something. Anyway, I'll do the other side, but I'll mark these and keep them together. Screw undid. But that's part of a long lost rubber, but you're never going to replace that. We may be able to make something. We're going to have to do something. We can't leave it like that. But it's part of this rubber here, and it's all had it. Anyway, what are you going to do? Apparently these are quite rare, these hard tops, so I'm told. Anyway, it's, yeah, well, this is all moulded to it, this tin piece. I'm not going to be taking that off, I don't think. Anyway, I should remember where that goes. I'm not going to mark that, I couldn't be bothered. Anyway, I'll see if I can take this side off next. Same thing, undo all the screws. Hopefully I can undo this. I don't want to damage this. This one's not split. So we'll see how we go. Oh no, it's this one here. It's that screw there. That goes into a captive nut. Anyway, so much for this one being easier. Those little fine screw threads, they're pretty much well stuck in there. So I'm hoping I can do it different to the other side. It was just a bit of a prick. And this one's in better nick. Still a little bit bent, but it's still quite good. I think you can actually buy that little part. But I may weld a head on here. That thing there is just stripping that. We'll see. I'll have to do something. I ended up getting that off, but I had to do the same thing. I've drilled that out, so I'll tap it later. Let's see if we use those. We probably will, but they definitely need to be re-chromed. So I've got all that stuff there set. I really want to try and get new rubbers for this. Like, I don't know what we're going to do. You could possibly use, looks like that thing was in there, you don't need it. This side didn't have it. The one thing I've just discovered, there's a rubber that goes along here and it's joined up to that. The other side's missing. And long gone. Doesn't mean we can't make something for there, but that's what we're going to have to do. Anyway, I suppose I seem to say that a lot. Anyway, I'll take this off next, and I'll take these off. I'll take this stuff here off, and then I'll push that window out. I'll take that rubber there off, whichever first. But right now I think I'll try and get this off without busting it, this rubber. Alright, I was able to get that rubber off, thankfully. I'm sure that's made of, and I was also able to get the old trim off this piece of rubber. That doesn't look too bad. That'll clean up that rubber, so we'll be able to use that. That's good. Alright, next thing is take these off. There's also a rubber here on both sides. It comes up like that. It could even be all one piece, that, from the factory, that goes up like that. There's along there, up there, around, and same on the other side. I've got a feeling that's how it comes from the factory. There's the original, what's left of it, original hood lining. Just like that, you're bleeding all over the floor. Patch that up. That's a nasty cut. It's only little, but yeah, that's pretty much straight to the bone, that. I was trying to flog this thing out here. These screws, they just don't want to come out, so I was holding that like that and like that and just belted it straight with a hammer. Anyway, it's just another day. I've got to try and get these out. They just don't want to come. Like, these are the first screws I've never been able to take out with that kit. I've got some of them out. That one snapped. I've got that one out. I've got two out. And these ones, it's just screwing the... It's busting up the heads. That's an important part of the roof, because that holds the latch down. So they've got to be put on correctly. And that's just something... You've got to pull it all apart. There's no point in half doing it. I'm not doing it, half doing it. Well, I'll see how I can go. Keep going. This thing mustn't have heard me saying that I couldn't get anything up with it. Those two are good. One of them snapped. That one's good. Now I've got 4 to go. Yeah, my finger's really sore, eh? It's just... Anyway, it's just part of it. Got the centre one off. One screw came out. The other one snapped. It's just too dry, and I can't get anything in there to lube it. Like, see how it's just butchered that? Oh, they've got to be drilled. I may be able to get that one, but I doubt it. They'll be drilled. Man, sure is fun. Got that off. Was able to elong that with a slot with a little Dremel. I end up getting that off. So there's eight metal thread screws along here. 3 snapped, but I got 5 of them off, which is pretty good. And that is so dry. That's why I didn't want to come off. It's been sitting in there for 60 years and it's really dry. So that front's all completely stripped, but I do have to drill these out and tap them. There's 3 of them. That's not bad. Whew. Once my finger stops throbbing, it'll be a bit better. So next I'll take this rubber off here, right? And that goes all the way around. So I'll probably get this off first, actually. I might have to heat that up with the whatever, a heat gun. First I'll clean up a little bit of this stuff and then move on to that. And then I'll pop that window out last, and then it's fully stripped. How you get these windows out is you peel that up like that and you push on it as you're doing it. So sometimes you can just sort of push it over down and tuck it in, but see how that's starting to come out as I push it? I don't want it to drop on the floor, but it is Perspex, so it's not going to bust it or anything. I'll just grab it under here now. Geez, it's a flexible thing. Holy. Pull this back a bit. Trying to do it with one hand is pretty good. I'll also polish this thing. So sort of clear. Not very clear at the moment. I don't really want to use my hand that I just destroyed. I'm going to put this down for a second, just do it with 2 hands. 1.5. Pop that out. That's just like a window they put in a soft top. It's floppy. Anyway, I'm just putting this stuff here. I'll shove this over here. But that's totally usable, that window. It'll clean up quite nice. Just clean the rubber, clean all the paint off it, put something on it to make it a bit softer, buff that both inside and out so it's nice and there's no scratches. That's going back in. That stuff's all done. Last thing I've got to do, that's all got to be straightened and everything. Get this rubber here off, and it's been glued on 100 times. We won't be really using that rubber, it's just not up to the standard of the car. Anyway, I'll see what I can do to get this off, and I'll probably go and do nothing for a while. Sort of clean my hand. I really should go get it stitched and cleaned, but I've had way worse cuts than that and didn't die. Yeah, I got that back rubber off. Definitely won't be putting that on, but I'm going to find something very similar to that. We'll never get it with this bit attached to it. It's missing on that side. And I'm pretty sure it was attached to... Where'd that other bit go? Oh, here it is here. This side bit, like it comes down here. That's this side. It's got a lip on it as well. So it sits in there like that. So we're going to get something similar. There's a piece of steel that goes across the front here. And this is all going to be needing treating as well. This is steel here. There's some steel goes down into that. That's steel down through there. It's pretty hard it, but it'll be right. That's probably fixing. It's going to be easier than finding all these rubbers, that's for sure. I'll just take this last rubber off, clean up, that's it. Have a look at it. Like, it's going to be sort of cleaning up in under there. It's going to be fairly tricky. I'll probably just sandblast up through there, sandblast all through here, all this steel. I'll drill out these 3 busted off metal threads, re-tap them. So they have to be strong, that holds the roof down. Luckily, I've got the factory hole there. I've got both the centre ones out, I think. I know one, yeah, one snapped on each one. Oh no, I got both of them ones off. Let's have a look. Yeah, got both of them ones off, they're fine. So it's just one. I've only got to do 2. I only snapped 2 actually. Oh, that's handy. Now just got to drill that, tap it, and drill that and tap it. That's it. It's completely stripped now. Here's all the stuff here. That thing's over there. I'm not going to leave that there. I'll put this stuff away. That's all going to take, I don't know what we're going to do yet, but that's all got to be chromed or whatever. I think you can buy them, but we'll see. That'll be fine, that bit. I'm just going to fix this before I flip it over. It's basically just bend it over with that first, and then I'll just dress it up with a dolly and a hammer. Go around tomorrow, get all the silicone off it. It's going to need sandblasting. Like this stuff here is pretty stuck on good. So I'll have to get all that off. I might do that before I knock off actually. I'll get that crap off and then I'll flip it over and have a look at the other side. Right, there it is, all stripped. This is built into it, that steel part, so that'll be staying. This will all be getting sandblasted in here, underneath as well. We'll be getting sandblasted up around this edge here, along this front edge, right where there's steel. All that will be getting inside and out blasted. This will be getting sanded back to the gel coat. Like it's got all bad cracks in it. All through it, so that's, can't have any of that. That's got to all go. I may have to re-gel coat it. We'll see. I do have a bit of a thing I want to paint on the roof here. It's sort of going to look like a stripe, but we'll see how that turns out when the time comes. Anyway, that's it for today. Unfortunately, I wrecked my finger doing that, and I probably should have went to the hospital, but she'll be right. I definitely won't be playing my guitar for a month or two. I might just whack a little video up and show you that, because I haven't put a video up for a little while, and I want to get this thing painted. That's the next thing I want to do. Those last bits I'm going to do anytime. Anyway, there it is. Thanks for watching.